There is no parking in the white zone. The white zone is for loading and unloading only.
Please do not use the lavatory when the train is standing at a station.
Unless you are going through a city that you do not like, such as Scarborough.
And now for our feature presentation. Hello.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition of Riker's Beard Live. Joining me, as always, is the ant to my deck, if I've got that the right way around, is Annabelle Chong. How are you doing, Annabelle Chong?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Sir Richard?
Not bad. And below me is Carlos. Carl, can you hear us?
Can you hear me, gents?
We can hear you.
Can you hear us?
I can't hear you.
This is like when I'm in court and we're using Microsoft Teams all the time, and it's like a seance where you're going, can you hear us? And
It's very difficult trying to get old people to use the internet. But before we go any further, James, could we confirm today's date?
Today's date is the 3rd of March, 2025.
He's back, mon capitan! Hey!
Yes. So my colleague here has been participating in Dry February, which has made him unhappy.
Well, I think unhappy is harsh. I think a better evaluation would be not as happy as I could have been had I not been participating in Dry February. I think that's a better way of putting it. Right, let's see if Carl's ready.
As they used to say on Banzai, oh, it's all over!
Yeah, I still can't hear you.
Still can't hear us. Okay. Well, I mean, I do know a little sign language. A little sign. I don't know a lot. A little sign language. Oh God, let's get on with the show. Right, I'm sure Carly Backman sorted out his audio problems. So, joining this evening, as ever, is the ant to my deck. I have got that the right way around. I'm the one with the big forehead. I don't know.
Well, then you're deck, so I'm ant. No. I'm deck. Then you're whatever.
I'm probably the shorter one. Let's be.
Deck is the shorter one.
Yeah, so you're the ant to my deck.
So I must be ant then. So that means you're deck.
Don't get deck confused with the cork. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Gary. How the devil are you? Chris, yay!
He sent me a blood dial earlier. He just sent me a thumbs up, and I replied, "Go, what was this for?" Because the last message we'd exchanged was weeks ago.
Good evening, Christoph. How the devil are you? The lovely Victoria. We're so looking forward to seeing you. Hey, Mark. How you doing, buddy? And James. Hey, James. How are you doing? Adam. Long time no see, Adam. How are you doing? And yes, I am back. So if this is the first time you're watching the show or you've watched it before, please just say hi in the comments. We love to hear where you're from, your favorite character, your favorite series, your favorite film. We love all that jazz. So please do participate, jump in and say hello. As Dell has just done, What Hodel?
Dell.
I'm not sure where. I'm thinking he's from Tasmania.
Gee.
Cowie. Marvelous. This is what we like. So, are we here? Are you in the room?
He's back.
I can hear you.
Did you manage to get your 3-year-old son to fix your computer?
I had a power cut this morning and I didn't realise that a certain piece of equipment hadn't kicked back in afterwards. So,
well, as you can see, I'm currently broadcasting from my new office, and I'm getting echoed back from someone.
We're not quite sure how to help you.
That's unusual. Oh, who's got an echo that they've just fired off?
I'm going to kill my audio.
Echo, 3 tons of whipped cream.
It wasn't happening before Carl joined the show, so I'm not pointing a finger.
Oh, that's right. Blame me.
I think someone needs to put some headphones on. That echo is quite disturbing.
It's not usually an issue for me.
It's almost like trying to have a conversation with my 14-year-old son.
Microphone. Let me just check it's not.
Mute your mic, Carl. Oh, sure. I can. Okay. Are we echo? I'm not echoing now. James, put your mic back on.
Are you echoing with me?
No, we're not echoing. It is
so
Carl.
Carl is the problem. Look at
Carl,
that.
put your headphones on.
I don't have any handy. It's never been an issue.
Hang on, Carl. I've got some here.
Hang on. Let me just turn my volume down a bit. Maybe that'll help.
It happens to all of us from time to time.
All my hardware's going wrong. Last week it was graphics. This week's it's audio. Oh,
good. We're almost as professional as the Trekkie girls here tonight. Good evening, Alan. How are you doing, chap? Good evening, ladies, and all those watching. It's very inclusive of you, Alan. Well done. Dell says, F and currently in Scotland. Richard, we've met in person. You ruined it. Right, we can't talk. This is a bit awkward.
it's a bit harsh to say that Richard ruined Deanna Troy.
Bit awkward. If we have met in person, Dell, it was probably in the bar, and I'm delighted to make your acquaintance again.
It was in a bar. It was in a Wetherspoons.
Was it in a Wetherspoons? Which Wetherspoons was it?
The Margate one.
Was it?
I believe that's the time that you met in person, yes.
Really? In Margate?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right, isn't it, Dell? It was the Margate one. I think it's when we were having a meeting.
Did we? Was I there?
Yes. That's how she's met you in person. Have you had your tablets yet, Grandad, today?
I dare try to wear spoons by the snakes.
Yes, like
I
that.
can't believe it's live. Sorry, a gentleman called Josephine. Right? Well, it's lovely to see you again, Dell. So this week again, bit of a slow week in the world of Trek. However, I've been doing the Enterprise rewatch with my children, and we've come to an end now. We've not watched it yet, but we've got These Are the Voyages is the last episode to watch, and I genuinely I want to get. Sorry, James.
How do you think they're going to feel about it?
Well, this is what I wanted to talk about tonight. I kind of wanted to get your feelings on it, and I've got my own feelings, which I'll save for now. But I want to try and ignore your opinions first. So,
Well,
Carl, if I can ask, if I can start with you, Carl. It's obviously if you're watching and you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoiler alert do a thing because it's Enterprise. It's like 30 years ago now, whatever. So. Tough.
20.
But it's a very, very controversial ending to a season. I won't tell you how I feel about it yet. I want to hear my esteemed colleagues' views. So this is the final episode of Star Trek Enterprise. And it really was controversial because at the time, I think it's fair to say, Enterprise was not well received in the Trek community at the time of its airing. And the ones that really liked Enterprise would defend it tooth and nail, like even more than the woke Discovery lovers. They would defend it tooth and nail. So when they aired the final episode and basically kind of tried to meld it into a TNG episode, it really upset the die-hard Enterprise fans, and the rest of the Trek community, I got the impression, just didn't care. So all it did, it didn't unite. It just kind of upset one fan base. That was it. That's all the episode kind of achieved. So I'm interested to start with you, Carl. Your thoughts on it?
Well, I think what they tried to do there was, because it's obviously they knew it was the end. They knew it was coming to the end. The cancellation decision had been made, quite a bit prior, obviously. And I think what they tried to do was a last-ditch effort to bring other Trek fans into the fold of Enterprise. Yeah. And I think they committed the worst sin possible by doing that. At the end of the day, DS9 was the black sheep of the family when that came out. A lot of people, as much as Voyager was written by a lot of the old TNG writers originally, wasn't necessarily as, loved by the fandom as TNG had been. And I think that with Enterprise, because it had such a short run and because they cut it short, and let's face it, like DS9, it was ahead of its time. Probably the people that enjoyed it at the time were way ahead of the rest of us. I didn't enjoy it at the time.
But okay, you weren't a fan on its first airing?
No, on its first run, I enjoyed a couple of episodes from the first season, and then I just kind of lost touch with it because it really didn't catch my interest. But I think looking back on it now and having done, 2 full season watches of it since it finished, I think they committed the ultimate sin of trying to go, oh, well, we've realised we've got it wrong, so we'll try and integrate it into something that the fandom loves. And actually all they did was annoy the people that really genuinely enjoyed it for what it was at the time.
So just to butt in before James gives his 2 cents, yeah, I think Carl's hit that right on the head, because back then syndication was huge, and that if they couldn't establish it with the fan base, they were not going to earn as much money through selling it through syndication. It's not like these days where you can chuck anything on Netflix and just get paid for what people watch. Syndication was a massive part of how much money and potentially could have doomed Star Trek. For intents and purposes, if they didn't bring more people on board with it. I don't agree with Carl, and I'll come to my reasons why shortly, but he's spot on with that aspect. James, your thoughts and feelings?
So am I able to explain this without actually saying what's in the episode?
No, you can say, don't worry about spoilers. We don't care.
I don't have to worry about spoilers some 20 years after it aired. Okay, fine.
Or haven't you seen it?
I have seen it. You have seen it. So we all know what happens is that the final episode is effectively shown to be a holodeck episode, or a holodeck program that is being run by Riker during the episode The Pegasus, which is one of the last season episodes of TNG, and he's using it to help him make a decision. And where the controversy of this is that people feel that Enterprise's finale was shanghaied and taken away from them, it being about Enterprise and the Enterprise cast, to make it essentially a TNG episode, which nobody was expecting and nobody had asked for. But the reason for doing it is because obviously TNG was so massively popular, and still, I'm trying to think, hang on, so that was 2005, so we'd had Nemesis 3 years before, so TNG was wrapped, properly wrapped by that point in time. There was no need to bring it back. But you do have that sequence at the end. And we have all the different Enterprises. You have the voiceover from Kirk, the voiceover from Patrick Stewart, the voiceover from Scott Bakula, to try and tie it all together at a point where it was kind of felt this was the final chapter in at that point, 19 years that we'd had Trek in continuous production, from TNG starting in 86 all the way through to Enterprise ending in 2005, and with nothing on the horizon at that point to carry it on. Because there were no new series, because we had TNG overlap with DS9, overlap with Voyager, overlap with Enterprise. There was nothing else in production, nothing planned, and we didn't get anything until the 2009 J.J. Abrams Apple Store film, which was a standalone. And then I think we waited 5 years after that for something else, which was Into Darkness. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know really what their thoughts were. It's often been described as an Easter egg or a love letter to the TNG fans, but at the same time, it was tremendously disrespectful to the Enterprise fans. It didn't assist them. They weren't going to do anything with it. So, yeah, I think it was a misstep, is my view. I enjoyed it, but it was a misstep.
Oh, so, okay. So you did enjoy the episode?
I absolutely enjoy it because I got to see Riker and Troy again, and the Enterprise D. I'm never going to be unhappy about that.
And for the first time in high definition, as well.
Yes, and where Riker had put on a bit of timber, as we all do.
Yeah. You have the look of a man who gets his sandwich. I mean, would you agree with that, Cole? Did you hate the episode for what it was, but enjoy watching the episode, or did you not enjoy the episode?
I got to be honest, I didn't really enjoy the episode. It felt forced to me. It felt forced into being something that it wasn't, and something that it should never really have been in the first place.
I'll tell you what, let me put it to you this way. So there's, looking at the counter, 250 billion people watching us at the moment, our core fans.
More people are watching us now than are watching Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah. Now, imagine if, just as I said this, the screen paused and it cut, and it was in fact an episode of Trek Yards where they were discussing us. I'm going, theirs is the better podcast. What's going on here? Everyone would feel cheated, wouldn't they? All the billions of people watching.
Oh, no, I actually understand how those poor people felt now.
Yeah, do you see? I've put it in context for you.
I mean, we've not touched upon possibly the most controversial bit of the episode, and that was killing off one of the main characters in the final episode, killing Trip off. I mean, how did we feel before we really get into the bones of it? And the important thing, how I feel. How do you guys kind of feel about killing Trip? The decision to kill Trip off.
Oh, he was vanilla anyway. I didn't care.
Oh, really? I thought he was one of the best standout characters in Enterprise. Really enjoyed him.
I really enjoyed him as a character, but I kind of feel like it was very akin to the decision that Neelix left Voyager, 2 or 3 episodes before the end. They tried to give it some gravitas and impact, but it didn't happen because within the context of the episode, well, it's the last episode. Does it really matter that we're not going to see him again?
Yes.
Neelix left Voyager a couple of episodes before the end, and then he came in on the screen, so you still saw him. So did it have the gravitas that they tried to give it? No.
Well, do you know what? I mean, I feel that the decision to write Neelix out came about 6 seasons too late.
Let's not move this onto Neil. I've got my own thoughts on Neelix's exit, which I thought was done very well. But I think
I can do wonderful things with vegetables, Captain.
You should see my ping pong table tennis lessons. But you've got to see. I dislike the decision to kill off Trip. That was, for me, was the worst decision they made in that episode. Because for me, it didn't add. I get what they were trying to do, but it didn't add anything to it. It just kind of pissed people off. It certainly pissed me off. We all wanted, as much as when TNG ended, I mean, did you want Worf and Deanna Troi to get together, or did you want Riker and Troi to get together? But you wanted them to get together. When a series ends, you want to see them sorted. It's like if you ever watch Malcolm in the Middle, you want to see them sorted. When the season ends, you're vested in these characters. You want to see them all sorted out at the end. So to kill him off and to have T'Pol left alone, I thought that's actually quite cruel and was very non-Star Trek. It sounds a bit weird if they killed them both off. That'd have been fine, but leaving her alone was kind of. It just seemed a bit mean. It just seemed very non-Star Trek, non-positive.
Episode just to annoy all the Enterprise fans. So we're going to bring in TNG to sort of like snowball it and bulldoze through your finale episode, and then we're going to kill off someone and leave you with no happy ending just to annoy you even more.
And then, years later, we're going to let Discovery run for more episodes, even though it's passing gag. That was the worst insult. Let's be honest.
Do you remember at the first Destination Trek where they had the 5 captains on the stage in the opening ceremony? Were you there for that? And John Bloody Barrowman was asking them, what would you all have liked? And I think Patrick Stewart said pockets, and
that was Avery Brooks. That was quality.
And was it William Shatner who said 3 more seasons? And Scott Bakula said the same.
Yeah,
because of course Enterprise only got 4 years, didn't it? And, all the others, barring TOS, had 7 years. TNG, Voyager, DS9, all 7-year runs. We all expected Enterprise would be a 7-year stretch, didn't we?
Yep.
So before we get on to the important views in this, let's just dive into the comments quickly and see how they feel. It's what. Yeah, it isn't that bad as a standalone, but quite poor for any of the series. Yeah. Always liked Enterprise. Enterprise was my favorite until the final betrayal. Alan not shying away from making his feelings known there.
I think Enterprise has its place, by the way, because when they took the direction with it, they did. It was to go, well, look, you've had 3 separate series all running in the same time frame, and we're struggling a bit to write this now. So let's just move it somewhere in the timeline. And they thought, let's go earlier. Well, why not? But they didn't want to make it look like TOS. They wanted it somewhere earlier still, and we got the halfway between TOS and NASA. And I think that was a really cool look. Yeah, I really liked the ideas they were coming up with and explaining to us when photon torpedoes were invented and that warp drive was in its infancy and the transporter was really unreliable.
They're trying to get the guidance on the torpedoes right, and Malcolm just keeps missing every bloody asteroid that he's firing at until right at the pivotal moment he gets it sorted just in time.
I mean, Christoph says he liked it particularly because he liked the ladies on there.
So Hoshi Sato, T'Pol, was only the 2. No, was there another? I'm trying to think.
No, that was it.
That was it.
Very kind of you to say, Chris. Little off topic. Vicky. Oh God, we've spoiled it a little bit for Vicky because she hasn't finished watching it yet. So that's
This is like you guys berated me for not having seen the end of DS9, and I'd waited 20 years to watch the finale.
Dave says they should never have killed Trip. Death quite. Yep. Again. So. Yeah, I mean, we'll get on my thoughts because I haven't watched it with the kids yet, and I genuinely, I'm trying really hard. I want to see because my kids have watched all of Voyager. Well, say that from 7 and 9 onwards, Voyager, and loved it. They've really enjoyed Enterprise. They've watched Prodigy. They haven't watched all Lower Decks. They didn't particularly like it. They watched bits of it, but they're not that fast. They've been enjoying Enterprise, and I've told them it's the last ever episode, and I'm waiting to see their reactions without because you might find this hard to believe, but I think possibly I do influence my kids quite a lot with my opinions. So I've tried to stay away from it.
Well, that's fine, Richard, because your opinions are correct.
Well, yes, exactly. But I'm waiting to see their reactions to see how they feel about it. They're hopefully not watching the show because they should be in bed. So I'll give you my 2 cents. I think it was panic. Genuinely, at the time myself, when Enterprise first aired, I watched it. I wasn't that fussed. And this is going to sound like possibly a bit petty, but the thing I hated the most about it was on Channel 4 and it had adverts and it wasn't on BBC 2. I've had the right arse about that. But I was crying out, as we all were, for the continuation of the golden age of Trek. We wanted to see what happened after DS9, after Voyager got home. That's what we wanted to see. And we got Enterprise instead. And every week we watch it thinking, well, this is okay, but we want to know what happens when Voyager gets home. We want to know what happens after DS9. This is what we want to know. We want that continue. It didn't matter how good Enterprise was. That's what we wanted. We loved it so much. So I think and they did. I think the final season of Enterprise, I think that's really when they did hit the money. I thought the 2 or 3 long story arcs, Terra Prime, great story arc, some really good story arcs, some really good writing. A little bit of a shame, I think Archer doesn't shine in the last season. Scott Bakula doesn't get the chance to really sort of walk the grease boards too much. But apart from him not getting a chance to do much, I thought that the episodes and everything were all on point. And I think they did a throw of the dice. I think they thought, well, let's put it out there. Let's meld it into a TNG episode. And if people all love it, then we'll do it. We'll continue the golden age of Trek and we'll bring back TNG in some form and we'll find out what's happened. And I think perhaps because everyone hated it, not for the fact they hated TNG, just because they shit on Enterprise, it didn't happen. I think I think it was a gamble. I think they threw a Hail Mary, as our American cousins would understand. But yeah, I think it was. I think they did it to test the waters to see, look, how much do people actually want the Golden Retriever? If we're going to literally sort of wipe our feet of Enterprise and make it into a holodeck episode, are people going to take to that? Should we continue it, or do you know what I mean? I think they literally just thought, let's have a punt, let's see how people react, and they got it wrong massively. I think they got it wrong on both fronts. Whatever their intentions were, I think they failed miserably.
How would you judge that particular decision, though? Should you, whether you believe that a series has got enough of the viewing audience behind it to be successful or not, should you really ever take that punt on a finale?
I mean, part of me says, did they know 100% that would be the last episode? Because you like to think if they knew it was going to be the last one, but then because they killed Trip off, yeah, of course they knew it was going to be the last one. So
I get they lose, but all they're doing is being disrespectful to the fan base that did enjoy it. They've already established at that point they haven't got the viewing figures to carry on.
Yeah.
So what? For want of a better term, why and piss off the people that did enjoy it? Why not just give them the finale they deserved?
Well, it was a creative experiment, wasn't it? It was waiting to see if...
Was it creative, or was it, as you've just put it, I think that's more of a business decision.
Yeah, it was having a punt. Let's see what... It's what they did with Discovery every week. They threw a load of shit at the wall and see what stuck and what fell off, and then ignored the results.
Let me ask you this, though, Richard. Would you have enjoyed the last episode of Discovery? And I can't remember anything about it other than it ended, thankfully. But would you have enjoyed it if it had turned out to be Riker yet again on the holodeck?
I would have fucking loved it. I would have been absolutely delighted.
Enhance the episode by thousands of factors.
Oh, it would be brilliant if Neelix was running the holodeck program. It would have been just so good if Neelix was running the holodeck program and somehow they tied it in with the old episode Code of Honor. It would have enhanced it 1,000%.
And in the background, you've just got
no vaccine. Yeah.
I literally cannot remember anything that happened in the last episode of Discovery, and I think the reason for it is because I just didn't care. I
think they shot the ship even further into the future, but not far enough. So, I mean, to getting back to the topic on point, though, and this is what I'm interested to know. How I mean, because the ending to DS9 was shit. Like, we can't pretend it wasn't. It was awful. Okay, that was terrible. Voyager was pretty good. I thought that was okay. I thought the ending to TNG, all good things. I thought that was pretty solid. That was pretty good.
Actually, I mean, if you consider that to be a film rather than a two-part episode, it's one of the best. I think it was an absolutely brilliant way they signed TNG out.
So how would...
Sorry to interrupt. I suppose the difference is with TNG, they knew they were going straight into production of Generations.
Yeah.
So how, if you were in charge of Paramount Studios and they said, right, okay, this is the last episode of Enterprise now, and try and put yourself back then. It's not now when you've got a very solid fan base that love it. So back then, and they said, how would you like to end the final episode? To you first, James. What key elements would you keep and what would you get rid of? What would you do?
Dancing girls, car chase.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're always a winner. Borg.
You'd have brought the Borg in. I mean, that was my favorite. That was one of my favorite Enterprise episodes, the Borg episode.
Let's have a Borgie.
Yeah,
because I love The Thing. That's in my top 5 films of all time. So the Borg episode of Enterprise was outstanding. Same question to you, Carl.
Do you know what I'd have loved to see? The TNG episode Conspiracy, You know, the little pink scorpion things. I'd have loved to have seen them just make a surprise appearance.
Or you'd like a threat to overcome, kind of like
and you know what?
Triumph moment.
If they were genuinely going to try and piss off the fan base at that point, end it on a cliffhanger where you don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Like Blake 7.
And you're never going to find out. You know, if we're gonna annoy you, we're going to do it properly.
I mean, the certain elements I did enjoy. I quite liked the kudos Archer got for being one of the founders of the Federation and stuff. That kind of thing, and building up to that with Terra Prime, which is very poignant now. You know, I was watching the Terra Prime story arc with the kids. You know, my lad's 14. He went, "He's Donald Trump, isn't he?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah." Yeah, RoboCop is Donald Trump. Weirdly, how that's worked out, I don't know, but that's where we are now. Peter Weller.
You have 10 seconds to comply.
Yeah, but
drop your weapon.
Trump, you're fired. Thank you.
I've got a new camera up outside my office, security camera, and it does. I can program it to say what it wants. So I'd love it if it just pointed at random people walking past the house. Drop your weapon. You have 10 seconds to comply, and they go. Like they put the handbag down. Drop your weapon. You have 5 seconds to comply.
Camera's moving around.
Or So, but yes, so yeah, it's very poignant at the moment. The Terra Prime episodes, they're worth watching with your kids because it's handled in a wonderful way that Star Trek does. But yeah, how would you change? How would you make the ending more satisfactory? I think there were so many open things. There was the whole T'Polon trip. There was Malcolm Reed and Section 31 that was left open-ended. There was Mayweather who never got to do fuck all. You know, there was. would he finally get to do something?
What I would probably have done is I'd have tried to seg it in some way into TOS. I mean, they were 100 years or more apart, but I'd probably have had Archer departing off on, you know, even a 1-year exploratory mission to seek out strange new worlds. Because they didn't really do a lot of that. They were just wandering around trying to solve crises most of the time. And I'd probably have had the ship look slightly closer to the original series Enterprise, and the uniforms look slightly more like the original series stuff in some way, just to say, you know, we're now on this path that you know and love.
I mean, trying to understand canonically, was Discovery before Enterprise or after?
It's only shortly before TOS. It's
that's right.
It's 10 years pre-Kirk. Basically.
You've reminded me. I don't care. So the
Enterprise is about a century before.
Yeah.
It's. I think they could have. I think they should have ended it, personally, and it's very good with hindsight because now it's got a very solid fan base and it's loved by. I don't think there's anyone I know that. I mean, we'll ask our audience now, all of you, too, that are watching, if you can tell us that. Did you enjoy or not enjoy Enterprise? And specifically, like, did you enjoy it more? I enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, I think, this time around more than I have. I've watched it, I think, 4 times I've watched Enterprise. First time round, second time round when I first had my kids, and then I'm doing it again now with my kids and enjoying it. And I think I like it a bit more every time I watch it. Maybe... Which one can go into airlock? We'll play that in a moment. I wonder what someone will be picking to go into airlock 101 this week. But well, it'll be all good things, won't it? No, it won't. It'll be these are the voyages. Yeah. So Alan's very clever. No, he's not. Dave is. Yeah. I felt betrayed. Very betrayed. Star Trek was a BBC thing. There's literally nothing worth paying your license fee for apart from Match of the Day and Star Trek, and then they whipped Star Trek away. So it's like, why would you? What's the point?
BBC Two, 6 o'clock. Oh, wonderful.
Oh, great. With your tomato soup and toast, or your baked beans on toast for tea. Yeah. That's that. If you were lucky, it had cheese on. And if it was a good month.
And that was 3 nights a week at one point.
Oh yeah. It was
Wednesday,
TNG on a Wednesday, DS9 on a Thursday.
Yep.
And then Friday, Enterprise was on Channel 4. From
you had Voyager on Sunday evenings, didn't you?
Wasn't it on Sky?
Voyager was on Sky. Yeah.
No, Voyager was on BBC Two on Sunday evenings.
Was it?
Because you had TNG Wednesday, DS9 Thursday, and then you had to wait a couple of days until Voyager on Sunday.
Do you know what? What we need is to get Craig David to write a song about this. Voyager on Sunday, watching TV
and we were Wednesday, and then DS9 on Thursday, and then Discovery on no day, none day, couldn't be bothered day. All over your mind. Right, okay. Let's play. I'm going to get some more wine because that's going to improve it, and then we'll play a game. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play the sting, and in the time it takes for the sting to play, I will exit and be able to get some more wine and then return. Or should we play the Mail on Freighter advert again?
Yeah, play the Mail on Freighter advert. That's
the pursuit of perfection begins with a dream. Irresistible desire. You demanded. You waited. They delivered. Something to exceed the expectation of millions. You wanted more. Malon Cloak Activate Edition. And more. The Gold Edition.
It's such a shame no one sees the whole dance in the background.
So welcome to this week's edition of Airlock 101. First of all, to decide who's going to go first, Carl, which hand is my guitar pick in?
Your left hand. No. Oh!
Aha! No, you see, it was in my left hand.
Damn it!
James, would you like to go first or second?
I would like to go first, just in case Carl has picked the same thing I have.
Wow.
Now,
got my doubts.
Technically, this might be classed as discovery, but bear with me, okay?
Oh, this could be an automatic disqualification.
You'll work out. I only have to say 2 words, and you'll see the discovery connection immediately when I say those 2 words. But I think this should be a slam dunk. All right, ready? Elon Musk.
We're playing Star Trek Airlock 101.
Elon Musk is specifically name-checked by Captain Lorca in Season 1 of Discovery as amongst the great pioneers of space travel. Now,
I hate
5
to say
years
this,
ago,
this isn't
people
just
tended
slight-
to have quite a high opinion of him. Nowadays, we all think he's a complete douche.
Why?
Why?
That's based on his personal opinion, not his achievements.
Have you watched the news at all lately, Richard?
Not much, no.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to suggest that you do have a look at the news, and have a look at what's happening in the colonies at the moment, and you'll feel that there may be some malign influence by Elon Musk in a way that is undesirable, and I'll leave it at that.
All pioneers were unpopular at some point. As long as he's not doing fucking Nazi salutes or something, he's fine.
How high was the snow?
So,
It's high.
so James would like to put Elon Musk into room 101. And you chose this just in case Carl was going to.
Well, just in case Carl had got something as good as Elon Musk for Airlock 101.
Okay.
Well, I'm kind of glad that I've gone for the big guns then.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, dear viewer, there is no pre-orchestration to our Airlock Room 101, but I have really gone for the big guns this time.
Oh.
Okay. Well, what the thing?
Have you got the code of honor again?
The marbles! The marbles!
One of the greatest ever episodes.
What the hell is the point of these?
What do you mean, what's the point of them? To play marbles with? Are you insane? Have you not even opened them?
I picked them because it's the only thing that could possibly compete with James's entry this week.
Those are amazing. What marbles are they?
They are the TNG collectible action marbles. And
Action marbles. I do like an action marble.
I would like to submit to the jury, i.e. our dear viewer, number one, there is absolutely nothing about these collectible. Just like to point out, you can see in the background, I've got a fair few. There is nothing collectible about these. And number two,
you still have them.
Marbles.
Yeah.
They're no different to other marbles. In fact, I'd say other marbles are superior to these. If you wanted
I'm afraid,
to
Carl, I'm gonna unusually have to disqualify you for this. Because I challenge you to bring those marbles along to the next Star Trek convention, along with the board game Kaplunk. And I guarantee you we will have a good night. I guarantee you we will have a good night. Because if we mix those marbles in with standard Kaplunk marbles and turn it into a drinking game, those marbles will become legendary.
You're on.
Nobody's going to vote for me. My life is complete. I can retire from this game now.
No, I'm not going to disqualify. Obviously, our audience have to cast their final vote. So, if you would like Star Trek marbles to go, I think they're really nice to go into Airlock 101. Please write the name Carl. If you would like Elon Musk to go into Airlock 101, please write the name James.
It's
Vote
not even
now.
It's name dropped. It's directly in there.
Elon Musk is an anagram of all
I'm very sorry to say this, chaps, but I'm afraid we're going to have to disqualify James.
What?
We're going to have to disqualify. Someone's spammed the chat with your name, so I cannot actually get the vote. So Elon Musk survives. And the Star Trek marbles go into room 101. James, you've lost again.
Carl. You can't
Well done for successfully defending. Well done for successfully defending Elon Musk, James. We're very proud of you, and we'll say goodbye to the Star Trek marbles into room 101.
Do you know what? Secretly, I'm devastated.
Christoph has disqualified Richard.
Can't disqualify me on the fucking law. You disqualify me if you can.
Which way to the beach, Richard?
Oh, the beach is it's actually it is actually that way. That is. Yeah, so
it's my life every morning when I go into the office.
As you walk through the front door.
So I walk into the gigantic glass and steel structure of my office, and the Los Angeles sunshine. Oh, hang on, that's not my life, is it?
Well,
here's something you don't see every day.
James didn't win because you cheated, Alan. You supported Elon Musk. Well done.
There we go. I'm going to keep that.
Well, you're a bit fucking late to the party, aren't you?
No.
Good evening to them. How the devil are you, chap?
Anyway, shall we play one of my many clips?
You've got a clip to play.
Well, I have sent them out repeatedly, but you guys never.
Oh, am I going to need to load up another window? Hang on.
Should we do Wish or should we do Massive Choppers? Which would you prefer?
Which was first in the list?
Wish.
I'll play. We've got the Wish sting. Do you want the Wish sting?
Wish sting while Carl's finding the clip.
Yeah. If you do that, I'll find it.
Have you found it, Carl?
I have. One moment.
So this is a grainy 1990s clip from Deep Space Nine, and it shows where they allow reporters onto the station. Roll VT.
I can't guarantee sound, but I'll try my best.
It's not going to be terribly good without it.
Well, we could do it.
This device. You're going to have to provide a service. Service. What kind of service? I'm not doing that. Oh, come on, Jay. All right, then how about this? Come on. Is anybody going to see us? No, it's just you. Promise? There's nobody else around? Ferengi promise. All right, I'll do it. All right. Jay. That's enough. Yeah. All right. You're not going to tell anybody, are you? No, I promise.
I didn't even know that Jay Leno was on Gladiators.
Oh, which reminds me, yes, I was watching Gladiators with the Bambinos earlier, and in light of that and the fact that I feel that there will be the Riker's Beard Gladiators showdown at a convention at some point, dear viewers, if you'd like to give us all gladiator names,
I already have one.
Gladiator names up, so you put, say, Carl, and then I don't know, Thunder Force or whatever you want to give him. That could be incredibly abusive towards us.
When I watch Gladiators with my children, I am known as the Daddiator.
Did you really want that shouting out at a convention?
It doesn't bother me, no.
Yeah, so there was a new one earlier, and while we were waiting for the new Gladiator to appear, I tried to convince her it was me, and that I'd been.
I did the same. I did the same. Exactly the same. Except my kids are 13 and 14. They went, no, but I'm gonna try. I said I'm going to come out dressed as a Power Ranger. Go, Daddy Ranger! Woo! No, none.
Can you feel the power of the Power Ranger?
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, I'm glad
Musket is
James Musket. I quite like that.
Robot Wars name, to be fair.
I'm not sure that's spelt right though, isn't it? Is a musket spelt?
A musket. No, that looks good. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different type of musket.
Are you thinking of the wine by any chance?
I might have been.
A muscat.
This is oh, the Whippet, James the Judge, Richard the
blank.
This...
I'm happy with the Judge. I'll go with that.
In what universe am I a Whippet?
Well, you're Northern, aren't you?
Whippet.
David, yeah, we do have some videos of the sets. They're on the Riker Speed YouTube channel, aren't they?
Not as such, but hang on.
Well, you'll have to come along and see them.
I'll send one to Carl now, and Carl can share it. Hang on.
No pressure.
No, genuinely, if you would like to see the sets, there's not a lot of video footage. There's the Atlantis promo that we did when we did our own one, but no, come along and see the set. The video doesn't do it justice. Come and experience it in real life.
There's some news.
Oh yeah.
Hang on, I'm busy sending a video to Carl.
Oh, I'd loaded up.
You see that, Carl?
Hang on.
It's in the RBL chat.
Oh, ba-ding! Yes.
There you go. You can pop that up.
Is it wrong that a massive screw?
Yes, it's a big screw.
Cool. I've got the right one then. Just checking. This one.
That's the one.
This is the plan. Okay, now.
Yeah, there you go. There's a little teaser for you.
Can I borrow your table saw, please, James? I've got some laminate flooring I've got to finish off.
Of course you may.
Thank you. Honestly,
Love
cutting laminate when you're doing the long strips of laminate flooring by hand, it's fucking soul destroying. It's honestly, because it pinches in, it traps the saw. And you can use a tension saw, but you can't get the depth angle on it. It's just an absolute
You
nightmare.
might prefer to use my sliding mitre saw, but that's enough for this week's tool talk.
Oh, James, I do enjoy your massive tools.
Woof! Woof!
I wish you weren't so rough with them.
So yes, so we do have a bit of news. We've had communication from both Portsmouth and Destination this week.
Ooh.
So Portsmouth have asked me for some dimensions, so I'm going to say 32, 54, 33, or whatever it is women do. Yeah. And Destination want a telephone conversation, so I'm going to get my agent onto them.
Oh, we can use my dog. So so in my house, so my dog is deaf. And so we speak. He genuinely is deaf, so we speak for him. And his thing he always says is just Badu, 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 Badu. That's so. Whenever I get a cold caller call up, like trying to sell double glazing or tell me I'm inheriting some money from a Nigerian prince, I literally just say, "Oh, Badu, 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 Badu." Badu. I just continue saying Badu Badu until they go away. Slightly embarrassing when my kids' school phoned up. But I think possibly, yeah. I think if when Destination phone you up, in the first instance, we should just reply to everything they ask with Badu Badu, and we'll video it, we'll record it.
Just so they know what they're getting themselves into.
Just so they know what they're getting themselves into. Badu Badu.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few very nice comments turning up on the screen that I can see. People are pleased that we might be there. Do continue to tell Destination how much you want to see us there, because that means we can have a progressively larger rider.
Yes, please get onto TikTok now and tell them that you want us there. Is TikTok the one? Is that's not big? No. Get onto Instagram now and tell them that you want us on there. And YouTube and Facebook and all of it.
Tell you what, I was thinking of creating a Riker's Beard Truth social account. That's the social media thing that Donald Trump set up when he was kicked off Twitter.
MySpace. Go to MySpace right now and tell them. Insist upon it.
Yeah, tell Tom that we sent you.
Log into AOL. Even better, Friends Reunited. Get on the Friends Reunited and tell them that you want the Riker's Beard there.
Ancestry.com/destination.
Why not call Reader's Digest today?
Did you ever read the old Reader's Digest condensed books?
No.
It's the most wonderful concept in the world. The Reader's Digest would take like a bestseller and cut all the shit out and make it a readable book.
So it was an even better seller.
They used to sell loads of them. The condensed Reader's Digest condensed books, and if you ever stayed on a campsite and went to the toilet, you'd always find one in there. It's just one of those nice things. Yeah. It can't be just me that used to read Reader's Digest condensed books. That's literally the only way you can read a John Grisham novel. You can't read the whole novel because you haven't got your entire life to spend. You have to read the Reader's Digest condensed version.
Dear reader, get your Aldis lamp, find the highest local point to you, and use it to flash by semaphore a message to the people at Destination.
Oh, yes. You could write them a very strong letter.
Write them a very stiff on cardboard.
Do we have an address we should find an address people can write them from?
That's a comment about ICQ. Does anyone remember that ICQ?
I've heard of it.
Well, it was the predecessor to MSN Messenger and such things. It was developed by
someone mentioned it way back up the list, but I won't bother finding it. Skype is being shut down, isn't it?
I remember. Does anyone remember why it was called ICQ?
Wasn't it something to do with the internet language it used?
No.
Was it I Seek You?
Yeah. That was it. Everyone thought it was an abbreviation, but it really wasn't. It's one of those weird geeky things.
Internet chat Quebec.
No, it was literally I seek you. ICQ. But they cast
Internet chat
MSN. So
cucumber.
Or as David just says, well, there's an office in Milton Keynes. You could just write to Showmasters and say, we require the Riker's Beard to be there. These are our demands. Firstly, you must buy them a Luton van. Secondly, you must get them a chap wearing a turban to drive it to and from Blackpool.
Why do you have to wear a turban?
Because turbans are cool. I love turbans.
Internet chat. There's not enough. Internet chat.
Thirdly, on arrival, they must each be allocated a punker waller to look after them.
Internet chat kumquat.
With the Q.
Why not? Oh no, it's a K, isn't it? It's a K. Bugger.
Interocitor construction questionnaire.
Internal curiosity quota.
So, yes, Destination are seeking a conversation with me this week. They're probably crap out of luck because I'm going to be very busy at work this week, so it may have to be out of hours. And Portsmouth have also asked me for dimensions of the set, which I will have to remember.
Yes, don't exaggerate them. Right, we're past time, so we're going to have to say goodnight. It's been terrific fun being back with you, champs. But until next time, please do look after yourselves and each other.
Namaste.